Hi everybody, welcome back to Oval Window Racing. I'm Clinton and I'm here to talk about my cylinders again. Yep, we got everything all tore back down. The oil leak was not in the oil cooler. You can see the oil cooler here is dry. Flip it over here. I didn't see anything coming out of there, but I did have very little silicone underneath these cylinders. I tried something different. Normally I put a lot of silicone. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but I put enough. Never really had a leaking problem. It's possible that I probably should have had this decked. I've had this engine together and apart several times, and there's a little dink from the rods bumping on it. It is best if you can have these propped up. I've never practiced doing that, but I do know some people do. But yeah, I got everything all cleaned up. Took some extra time, tried to get all the silicone out of here. That's the only trouble with doing this and not tearing the whole engine down. Just gotta be careful you don't drop any silicone down in there. I will probably change oil filters real quickly after I get this back up and running again. But yeah, it's time to get the grind on and get some silicone out and put this bad boy back together, get her back into Simon. Would like to point out my new tool. Put a TV in. Right now I just got the computer hooked up to it. I can watch YouTube, get a little white noise in the background so I don't drive myself crazy thinking to myself I'm doing all this work out here. But yeah, another nice thing is when I hook the computer up to do my tuning, got a nice big display. Sometimes this computer's not too bad, but I don't do my tuning on this. I do it on a little bit smaller laptop, and with the old eyes, it's hard to see the numbers sometime. But not on this thing. All right, one of the things I had to do was go buy some more pushrod tube seals. I normally like running the white ones, but Jim didn't have any of the white ones, and I could have bought a whole new gasket set, but Lord knows after building 50 to 75 engines throughout the years, I've got plenty of extra gasket part pieces. I don't need any more. So I opted just to buy just the pushrod tube seals. Like I said, I don't normally like the German white ones that come with the O-ring gasket kits, but all he had were these, and these seem to be a little better than some of those other knockoff. They feel a little softer, more moldable, so we're gonna give them a shot. I chose to go with just the pushrod tube seals because I was able to get 2 sets for half the price of a gasket kit. It's always nice to have an extra set, so we're gonna get to town putting these on.
Back to where he was, drove it all the way down the track that time, so he did great.
Turn this down some. It's great. Tom Bailey's kind of a local hero around here. He's actually from Michigan. I think he's run Drag Week twice. He's actually built a car with his son. His son just graduated high school this year, and yeah, he's working on getting his, I think, his NHRA license, and his first few passes were 8-mile passes, but now and those were in the 11s. You guys all know I've been trying to run 11. He's straight out of high school. This kid is built running 11s, shutting off at the 8th mile. But yeah, they're kind of working, dialing the car, and he just ran a 986. Way to go, way to go. But Tom Bailey's son wound up running a best of a 912 in race week here. That's pretty awesome for a car they had just built. They didn't get a really chance to drive it before they put it on a trailer and headed out west. Like I said, they were 12 hours away from home. And if you're not familiar with Race Week, it's Rocky Mountain Race Week. It's put on just like Hot Rod Drag Week, where they had to drive from, I think they did 5 different racetracks. It took a week to do it. You have to hit certain checkpoints and then run your car down the drag strip, and it's all based on consistency. how consistent you can drive your car, or run your car, but yet your car still has to make the, I think it was like 1,200 mile course. But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Might have to put a new
Son helped him build that car.
really get some good sparks. Okay. The thing that holds this,
I think they were hoping for
is I wanted it to look like
an 8-second pass, but still.
We could put a taller tire.
They were handicapped with a bad turbo, twin turbo LS engine, and a 57 wagon. It was a 4-door wagon.
That's more important to me.
So it wasn't exactly light.
You know, we should check the oil in this thing.
You can see I got the silicone now with a nice bead squeezing out. This side's a little more trickier because there's 2 shims underneath the barrels versus 1 like on the other side. The gentleman that line board and decked this case, I don't know, he always had one side that was 10 thousandths difference than the other. I had pointed out to him, and he always thought there's no human possible way that was a problem. So it couldn't happen, but every case he did for me was that way. Learned a lot from that guy. Once in a while, like I said, he was a little stubborn, but he always had something to say. Now I have a different gentleman that line bores my cases, and yeah, I don't have that problem anymore. That's why I recommend, if you're going to put your engine together and you're going to get your deck height, at least check 2 cylinders, 1 on each side of the case. I always like to check every one. That's probably an overkill, but I just like to see where everything's at. Generally,
Farm truck out there. Okay.
everything should be kosher, but
Need a new set of tires on it.
he always had 3 and 4 side, 10 thousandths under 1 and 2 side. And number 3 is always known to run hotter. One reason's due because the oil cooler is right over top of it. You got a big fan that cools these cylinders. And this is a doghouse style, so it's not as bad as if you had the older style where the cooler was like right in. This is actually outside of the fan shroud. That was an upgrade they did, I think, in the early 70s to help with that cylinder from running so hot. I am told, I've never personally checked, but like your early distributors were actually slightly retarded on number 3. Or not as advanced. That was for the same reason, to help keep that cylinder slightly cooler. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I have no way of testing that. I suppose you could probably hit it with a timing light and see if there is a difference. Do my 4-man compression check. That's good. And that's good. Well, got the long block together. Now the next step is going to be putting the rocker arms and stuff all back on. Put some fresh gaskets underneath the valve covers. And I don't know if I showed you guys my valve covers.
I think that'll make it stand out more. Yep, let's try.
I finally got these Bug Pack racing covers. These are beautiful.
Oh God, not that. No, no.
They're actually sold by Empty now. Empty bought Bug Pack several years back. And got my threaded in breather fittings in there. And there's the green Pim grade oil. The green oil from, I buy it from Jim Green. Imagine that. But one of the modifications I had these little washers made. A friend made these little washers. Because the kit just comes with this flat washer, and that flat washer crushes the O-ring, and it's probably good enough. But I got these little aluminum washers made that are concave to fit the O-ring.
It's actually an old lens now.
I actually had those on my cheaper valve covers, and because the cheaper valve covers didn't even have this bevel in on them.
Yeah,
But these more expensive ones, they paid for took the time to actually put that bevel in there so the O-ring has a place to sit. Otherwise, it just squishes out from underneath everything.
and with
and then you have an oil leak. And these engines leak enough oil. We don't need any extra. But yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Got the short block and the long block all assembled. Pattern turbo and everything on there. All the sheet metal, cooling tin. And yeah, next is to get it off the stand and jack it up, put it in the car. So hopefully I can do that tomorrow and have it running. So yeah, stay tuned and see what happens. Alright guys, after two good days of wrenching, I got something to show for it. Haven't started up and run it yet, but this is where I'm at. And since I've switched the pulley here to a CB pulley, of course got a good new belt. So there's a new belt there. But yeah, next to add some oil and crank her over, get some oil pressure, make sure the fuel pressure is good and there's nothing leaking, and then good old start up. So stay tuned, look forward to that. Alright guys, got the spark plugs in, got oil pressure maintained. Didn't look like I had any fuel leaks, so I'm gonna crank her over and see if she'll fire and run a little bit. She probably won't idle right off bad, so I'll probably let it run for a few minutes and get out and check and see if there's any oil, and then get back in here and try to warm it up a little bit more so it'll actually idle on its own. So wish me luck. Maybe she is going to idle. Let's take a look. Brakes before I can go any further here, and looks like the daughter just showed up. She'll be pushing the pedal. Alright, we're gonna try the first voyage in Simon. First voyage of Simon in 2021. Good job leaving those brakes. There we are, guys. Big first trip. Woohoo!
Baby's first steps.
So this is where we'll let you go. So as always, keep shifting those gears. We'll see you later. Before I was just another guy.